Hi everyone! We are ready to go through our third lesson of this week, and I am super excited to go through it with you. Very impressed with the work you've done so far, and I'm really excited to keep going. Let's make sure, again, that we are on the correct lesson. You should be looking at NS 4.3, and it should say April 1st. We are now officially in April, which is super exciting and still pretty crazy that we are not all together. But again, hope you're all safe and well. We are going to start with our PDN. This lesson is going to be a review lesson for your unit assessment. So this PDN is incredibly important. So like always, please go ahead and pause and then hit play once you've done your PDN. Go ahead and pause it. If you're watching me again, that means you have done your PDN with your full effort and you're ready to go over the answers. So the first question here. There are two different populations of rabbits. One is white, one is white and brown, and the environment becomes white and snowy. And so we know that in this case, the white fur color is going to be the adaptive trait. And so the populations that are going to survive, the answer is going to be C. Both populations are going to survive because both of them have some organisms with the adaptive trait. So I know a lot of you might have wanted to say that it's only the population with variation that would survive. That's true if there's another change later, right? But in this case, they just need to be white to survive in that snow, and so both are going to survive. Moving on to number 2, your answer should have been A. The reason it's A is we know that most of the fish got dark. We know that it helps the fish to blend in, to be camouflaged, and so that probably means that the water got darker, which meant that it was more helpful for the fish to be dark to match that water. That should have been in your explanation. So the dark fish were surviving and reproducing. For this explain your answer, you should see that there's a box there. Those boxes are going to be appearing on your lessons from now on to make it a bit easier for you to type your answers into. So instead of having to delete lines, you can type right into that box. For number 3, what happens to mutations that introduce adaptive traits? So we know that if a trait is adaptive, it's going to become more common. So we can get rid of answer choice D right away. Now, A is wrong, and I want you to look at A and think in your head about what makes A wrong. There's one word that makes it super wrong. You should be thinking about the word choose. Organisms cannot choose their traits, and we know that. B is wrong also because it says in order for them to survive. Parents cannot choose to pass down traits in order for their offspring to survive. It would be pretty awesome if you could just choose which traits to give your offspring one day, but that's not how it works. The answer is going to be C. It becomes more common because they survive and reproduce. Lastly, number 4, if it's a non-adaptive trait, we know that it will eventually disappear, so A is wrong. The answer is not going to be B or C because the organism won't necessarily die at birth, and we're not talking about migrating away or moving away from a mutation. The answer is going to be D. The mutation disappears because it's unlikely that organism will be able to reproduce because it probably won't live long enough to reproduce, and then it won't be able to pass down that trait. If you have any questions about this PDN, of course, call me or text me and we can go over it, or attend my office hours from 1 to 1:30 each day. This lesson, as you go through it, is going to be like the review lessons you've seen for every single unit test, where you're going to answer some questions to help you eventually answer the larger multiple choice question, and then you're going to just continue that as you work through all of the different multiple choice questions for each progress build. I am not going to go through all of this with you because we have done this type of review plenty of times and you're all super set up for success. Once I see your exit tickets, I'll be able to see if you're struggling or if you're on pace to do your unit test. I feel very confident that you can work through this lesson completely on your own, but again, please call or text if you need help and we can go through it. Remember to reference your PDN if you're stuck because the questions are very similar to your PDN questions and you now know all the correct answers for your PDN. If you have any questions, call or text. Otherwise, I am very proud of the work you've put in. I miss you all. Please continue to do your work. Continue to wash your hands. Read books. Be active in your home. Whatever you need to do to feel your best, go ahead.